Hello and thank you for joining me on another episode of The Average EV. Today we are going to be talking about the updated 2024 Volkswagen ID4 and all of the changes that have been made. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the new channel EV Charging Site Reviews. It's basically a channel where I go to chargers, I have a rubric that I use, I evaluate them, and then I give them a score. It also allows you to know where you're going. One of the something like my wife had talked to me about is she feels like uncomfortable going because she likes to know where she's going. So that kind of gives you a little bit of insight before you actually arrive at the charger, and I think it's a nice tool for drivers, especially new EV drivers. And again, it's also fun for people to leave like their experiences down in the comments below. I do want to say with the EV charging site reviews, I am just evaluating the site, not the actual state of the site. Because those videos are going to last for a long time, obviously until maybe the chargers get updated or something like that. Maybe they add more chargers. So just be aware of that before you watch that. But again, please subscribe to that channel. And if you follow me on Twitter and then subscribe to this channel and to EV Charging Site Reviews, you can enter to win an Average EV t-shirt, a $25 Starbucks gift card, and an autographed ID4 Matchbox car, which is super cool. I think it's super cool. And again, that ends September 30th, 2023. If you're watching this video in the future, I'm sorry, but you totally missed out on an awesome giveaway, but that's that. So now let's get to the video. All right, everybody, so if you have not heard, they have updated some of the specs on the upcoming model year of the ID4. So I wanted to kind of go over those with you and give my impressions and kind of like what I'm thinking about. So first off, battery capacity has stayed the same for the Pro S, Pro S Plus. I'm not talking about the standard edition because there actually aren't many changes to that. I believe it's just interior changes. So battery capacity has stayed the same, 82 kilowatt hour gross, 77 usable probably still. Maybe they unlock a kilowatt hour, make it 78, but probably still 77 kilowatt hours usable. Horsepower, this is where the biggest changes have occurred, and this has occurred through a new drivetrain. So before, the horsepower was 201 horsepower for the rear-wheel drive and 295 horsepower for the all-wheel drive. The big news story here is the rear-wheel drive horsepower. So it went from 201 for rear-wheel drive to 282 horsepower, okay? Which is only about 10 or so horsepower less than what the 2023 all-wheel drive was. So it is gonna be spicy for a rear-wheel drive. Obviously, I don't think it's gonna have the as instant acceleration, but it's going to be way less lethargic than the current ID4. So I am super excited about that. And for the all-wheel drive, they went from 295 in 2023, and in 2024, it's going to have a 330 horsepower motor. So that's going to be awesome. Obviously not as big of an improvement, but it's going to be a little bit spicier for those of you who do choose to get the all-wheel drive. Next is the range. The range has improved, but they didn't say what it's improved to because they need to do the EPA testing and stuff like that. So I'm just going to give you my estimate. So first off, the former ranges for 2023 were 275 for rear-wheel drive and then 255 for all-wheel drive. And a lot of people actually end up getting a little bit more maybe than what's advertised on the all-wheel drive from what I can hear. For the 2024, I'm guessing, based on some things I've heard and seen and read and watched and everything like that, that the range is going to bump up just a little bit, but maybe to 285 for rear-wheel drive, maybe 290, and then from 255 for the all-wheel drive to like 265, maybe 270. And this is done purely through just a more efficient drivetrain. That's it. the car's not any lighter from what I can tell. It's just a more efficient drivetrain, and that's going to be super awesome and super exciting to have a couple 10, 15. It'd be great to have a little bit more range. I've personally never minded the range of the ID4, but I know a lot of people always want as much range as possible, so that will help a little bit. Next, we've got the display. The display for the 2023 models was a 12-inch display, and now they are increasing it to 12.9 inches. So that's 3/4 of a foot longer. No, that's more than 3/4 of a foot. 0.9. So it's almost an inch. That was a mess. I'm gonna leave this in so you all see that I mess up a lot. Almost an inch more, not a foot. That would be crazy. Anyways, so almost an inch more, so that's going to be nice to have a little bit more real estate. So those are kind of like the big number things to share as far as what has changed. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of go through this press release they had to kind of go over some more of the changes that are pretty exciting. So first off, from what I've heard, it's still going to be built in Chattanooga. Some of the pictures I'm going to show you all, it actually shows the European console, but I'm assuming that they're going to keep the US console that was adapted for the US market. So again, let's dig into some things. So they listened to feedback and they have adjusted several things. So first off, the buttons on the driver's wheel have been adjusted a little bit. It is hard to tell if they're still haptic or if they're clicky, but hopefully they made them clicky. If not, it is what it is. But hopefully they made them clicky, because I know a lot of people had concerns about that. I personally am cool with the haptic, but I know a lot of people really, really, really did not like that. Next thing they did, they took the gear shift. Before it was up here, and now right here. Now they lowered it to where the windshield wiper stock would be. I actually like that personally, but we'll see. I'd love to hear what you all are thinking about that. I always kind of thought it was weird I had to reach all the way up here, so just to be right here, turn it the same. I think it's the same ways. Drive is forward, reverse is back. Put it in drive. Park is still on the end of the stock. So I like that, but I'd love to hear your all's comments about that as well. So we can clearly see here that the windshield wiper controls were moved to the left stalk, which then makes me wonder what they're doing with the lights. I couldn't tell in the picture if the lights were still on the left stalk or if they're just going to be on that little pad down on the left. So we'll definitely have to see what happens there with those. But I welcome that change, but maybe some of you won't, and that's okay. Next, and this is a huge change, and I think a reason to go for the 2024 is they are not just redoing the screen, but the infotainment, the operating system is no longer software 3, it's software 4. And it's going to be nice. Everything I've heard about anyone who's interacted with software 4.0 has really enjoyed it. It's snappy, it works really well. There's improvements to all the routing and stuff like that. It even shows you like what charging speed you should expect, which I really like, because a lot of people, they don't know what charging speed to expect. And so if the car tells them based on your battery temperature, this is what you can expect, then when you plug in and you see that it's not, maybe you're supposed to be getting 150 and you're only getting 50, at least you know something's wrong. Does that make sense? So I really like that's going to be in the software 4.0, and I think it's going to be really, really, really nice. All right, so another big change here I'm reading in the press release is that the climate controls have been adjusted. So basically, and you can kind of see here in the photo that the swipers, they're now backlit, which was always a big complaint for everybody. Even me, I hate it that they weren't backlit. They're backlit, so you can see them. They're still swiping function, but then all of those buttons above that used to be like on the actual just below the screen are now on the screen, and you can easily access that without having to go to the climate menu, which is always kind of annoying. Like, it wasn't my favorite thing. I didn't hate it, but it definitely wasn't super easy to use, especially since you couldn't see the sliders at nighttime. So that is another welcome addition, I think, for the 2024 ID4 update, which is going to be super great. Another thing that doesn't affect a ton of people, because like I don't know how many people are getting the Pro S Pluses, but they are adding a Harman and Kardon sound system, which I know a lot of people were disappointed when they kind of got removed the premium sound system from a couple trims of the ID4. So that's that. Another thing is, and this is super sweet, the Pro S and Pro S Plus, so not the Pro, are getting ventilated seats. So you have heated, ventilated seats, just improving that, you know, the experience and the comfort of being in the ID4, which, again, this is my cone, I keep pointing to it. But the ID4, which is a already comfortable car, is going to make it even more comfortable, which is going to be really, really cool. And if you care, for the sound systems, I already just saw this, it's a nine speaker sound system plus a subwoofer and a 16-channel amplifier. All right, moving on. There are wheel upgrades to the different IDs. Here it says the ID standard all-wheel drive model is going to have 20-inch aluminum alloy wheels, and S Plus vehicles are going to upgrade to a 21-inch machined alloy wheel. But I think that the 19s and 20s are going to stay on the Pro and Pro S respective. That's what I'm understanding from reading the press release. Maybe it'll be a little bit different. Another thing, they just bring up the tax credit. It's going to be the only what do they say? Only foreign automaker that gets the full tax credit, which is obviously really nice. And I just want to remind everybody, with the 2024 ID4, assuming, and everything I've read is it's going to come out the quarter one-ish, maybe quarter two-ish, but probably quarter one of 2024, is that you can now take the $7,500 off the hood, okay? Or on the hood. Take it off on the, whatever the expression is. But you can take $7,500 off when you buy the car, which will help reduce your payments, which is awesome. But beware, if you don't have $7,500 or more in tax liability, you're not going to get the full $7,500. So if they give you the $7,500 and then later you find out, oh crap, I only should have gotten $4,000, then you're going to owe the government money. So I do have a video about that. I might do an update video just to make it a little bit more streamlined, maybe a little shorter. But I'll link that so you can check that out so you don't make any major financial mistakes. That would be really, really disappointing and frustrating and annoying. So that's that. So what are my thoughts about this this refresh? I don't want to call it a refresh, but this minor update. I like it. I'm excited. I think it takes most of the things that people didn't like about the ID4 and improves them, especially if the buttons, because I know people really hate the buttons. They backlit the swiper. They moved all the climate controls so you can access them all the time. I mean, the range is going to be a little bit longer. Now with the rear wheel drive, you've got like a pretty decent motor. It's going to be way peppier. 80 horsepower, that's a ton. It's going to be so much peppier. It's going to be a really great car and a great value if the price is right. And that brings me to kind of my next thing is, can they get the price right? Volkswagen is struggling a little bit, and they need people to buy this car. The ID4 has such a bad rap because of its early struggles with software, the recalls and stuff like that. They have to get this right, and it has to be perfect. And if what I read in the press release comes to fruition, they're gonna nail it. People are gonna want to get this because it's fixed. They need to make sure they advertise that really well, so that people understand this is an awesome car. We updated these things. The infotainment's awesome. It's snappy. We've got buttons. Hopefully that's in the commercial. We've got buttons and buttons. Anyways, like, it's gonna sell. So they have to get it right. So let's talk about the price. I think, and this is my opinion, and my opinion's always wrong when it comes to pricing, but I'm going to say it anyways. They have to keep the prices at least the same. They can't raise the prices. And I know economics, it might not work that way because it sounds like, they're putting nicer features in. Maybe they can raise the price of the S and Plus to lower the price of the Pro, or at least keep the Pro the same price. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But if they want to stay competitive, especially with the T word, Tesla, they're going to have to keep the prices the same, if not drop them a little bit, which I think they're going to be extremely reluctant to do. That's probably not going to happen. So I'm hoping, and they haven't released any pricing, that they keep it the way it is. So I'll read that to you really quick. The standard rear-wheel drive is $38,995. Well, that's where it starts, and that is, I believe, before destination. The ID4 Pro, which is what we have, $43,995. The all-wheel drive Pro, $47,795. ID4S rear-wheel drive, $43,995. So that's the small battery, which makes, I'm actually, in the press release, it mentions something about the standard all-wheel drive models. Oh, I understand. I don't think they were talking about the ID4 standard range. I think they were just talking about any of the all-wheel drive models come with 20-inch. So I'll have to look out for that and see what happens when they release all the, they change the builder on the website, because that is actually a little confusing how they have that worded, because I don't think there is an all-wheel drive S model. Yeah, there isn't. All right. Sorry, standard S. Anyways, so the ID4S standard range, the 62 kilowatt small battery is $43,995. The ID4 Pro S, $48,995. All-wheel drive Pro S, $52,795. Pro S Plus rear-wheel drive is $41,445, and then the all-wheel drive Pro S Plus is $55,245. So again, those prices are steep. You are getting a car with character. You are getting a car that is extremely well built. You are getting a car that has a lot of really nice conveniences, a lot of really good software. Is it as good as Tesla, the software? Not really. No, they're outplanning. Hopefully it's better, but I don't think it's going to be as good as Tesla. So yeah, I mean, they're going to have to reconsider the pricing if they really want to nail this, because most people are drawn to Tesla just because of the name. They see them everywhere. The charging network rocks. We'll see. I'm gonna say optimistic. They'll keep the prices the same, but it wouldn't hurt them to lower the pricing a little bit, especially since it's a domestic production. So that is that as far as talking about all the updates, talking about pricing. Again, I have no way to estimate what the pricing will be, so we're just going to kind of wait and see for that. Now, lastly, what does this mean for us and our ID4? And with all these updates, I'm thinking we're probably gonna upgrade to the 2024. It's just with the range and the better motor and all those things, it's gonna be a car we're gonna want to have. So I did email our dealership already and said, hey, can you get us in line for the 2024 ID4? And hopefully, when it comes in, we'll be one of the first to be able to get it, and we're going to trade in the 2023. We've loved the 2023, and any of you who have it, or maybe you've seen other videos if you don't have a ID4, there's little quirks here and there, but it's been a really great car. We've really, really enjoyed it, but I think that we're going to want all these updates. I just think we will. So, anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I know this is it's actually day-old news as of when I recorded this video, but I wasn't able to do anything about it yesterday. So let me know about your thoughts down below. What are your thoughts about all the upgrades to the drivetrain? What do you think the range might be? Again, I just gave you my estimate. That is not set in stone. I do not know for a fact that that's what the range will be, but I do know the range will be a little bit greater. And then, what are your thoughts about pricing? Do you think it should stay the same? Do you think if they raise the pricing, they're going to be in trouble? Especially since they're kind of at a crossroads right now. Like, leave your thoughts down below. I love to engage with everybody and whatnot. Lastly, before I sign off, please, if you haven't already, follow the new channel, which is EV Charging Site Reviews. I'm trying to get that rolling. It has been really fun to do it. I was able to get the initial upload to have some videos. I have a bunch backlog now. I actually have a viewer that is contributing, so that's going to help me get some chargers that are out west, which will be cool. If you want to help contribute, just email me and I'll let you know how that works. So please like and subscribe to that. That would be awesome. Not like and subscribe, just subscribe to the EV Charging Site Review. If you're not following me on Twitter, X, please do that. I put a lot of awesome content there. I know people aren't really big into Twitter, but you can just follow me and you can see all the stuff I put out there and all my rate your charges and everything that I post on there. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Please give a like, a subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you all next time.